Hi, everybody. Welcome to Eat, This, Drink, That, Go, presented by the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau and presented live by History Miami Museum. I'm Jimmy Seffel along with Brenda Bassett. You can listen to us on radio, WIOD, Saturday mornings 9 to 10 a.m. worldwide, on iHeartRadio as well. And then on TV, the Beach Channel, Atlantic Broadband, Roku TV, Apple TV, Fire Stick TV, Android TV. If you can find us, you're not looking. That's all.
Yeah. Streams on the Beach Channel, TV.
It's all over
It's
the
all
place.
there.
And then on social media, Instagram and Twitter, Eat, Drink, Go. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. We got it all going. Food, drink, and one of the best restaurants in South Florida. A couple of them is run by this man, Chef George Rabicavoli, who is with the Eating House right there on Ponce de Leon Boulevard, and the reviews of it is just the raves. And in the Grove at Glass and Vine, a beautiful restaurant with wonderful food as well. And we'll also be joined by his chef de cuisine, Sandra Lozano. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you for
Good to see you.
coming.
Thank you
Boy,
for
oh
having
boy,
us.
all the
Thank
reviews
you.
about your
Oh, my
restaurants
goodness.
are through the
Very
roof.
nice.
Now,
Awesome.
you do lunch at the Eating House Tuesday through Friday, 11:30 to 2:45 p.m. Dinner Tuesday through Friday as well, 6 to 9:45 until 10 p.m. on
And you have
Saturdays.
brunch.
Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
Wow.
love that. too.
Weekend brunch.
Beginning at 11 a.m.
That's
Terrific.
right.
Give me the concept of the Eating House.
So Eating House started off in 2012 as a pop-up restaurant. I was running F&B for a hotel, and then I went on Chopped on the Food Network. I won that show,
All right.
and I used the money.
And you became famous.
And overnight, right? made Mama proud real
Well, it
quick.
took you 30 years.
Yeah, it only took me 30 years,
Yeah.
but I left my job, like 401k, health insurance, left it all, and said, like, I'm gonna go live my dream.
Right.
You know? I found a bakery that let me run my restaurant in their bakery at night, and we did that for 6 months. It was insane. It was amazing. And then in November of that same year, we took over the space, remodeled it, kind of. Thank you to the city of Coral Gables for not giving us any trouble, which was really lovely.
That's amazing.
You must be really special.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. We got away with what we call murder,
Yeah.
right? You know.
And the type of food?
Geez, everything.
Everything.
Everything. You know, I wanted to make a restaurant that really encompassed Miami, right? So my vision and my theory was that, like, if you can get that country's flavor, cuisine in Miami, well, then it should be on my menu.
Right.
Right? We have like a little motto at the restaurant that's, if cooking is an art, we're making graffiti.
Okay.
So you can kind of see by the food, it's got kind of like really lots of colors and textures and
gorgeous
jagged.
things.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun, and the menu changes all the time. It really kind of just depends on us when we feel like changing it, get bored of a dish. But we have staples that never go away,
Right.
and one of those is what we're going to be making today, our carbonara.
Oh, good. Your pasta
Right.
carbonara. Okay.
Yes. So this carbonara has nothing to do with the traditional Roman carbonara. I understand that, and that's okay with me.
Yes.
This is
Right.
like a version of what my mom made.
This is a Miami carbonara.
Yeah,
right?
this is like what my mom made for me growing up, right? Like, you know, 30 years ago in Miami, pancetta didn't exist, guanciale didn't exist. You couldn't
Right.
find that at the
Right.
grocery store like you do now.
Right.
So she made it with bacon. She adapted, and these are like, this is my flavor of carbonara.
It's like your comfort food.
Yeah, for sure. It's cool. I talk about it all the time. Like, 8 years, every single one of these that goes out to a guest, and I still want to eat. You know, it's like
Right.
every single one.
Yeah, it
And-
reminds you of home, which is
Yeah,
terrific.
Yeah, it's great.
How do you start
Okay.
it?
All right. So what we do is we do a little bit of bacon as our base, right?
Okay.
We cook the bacon in an oven. So it's just a more even heat distribution. So we allow like every single piece of carbonara and every bacon bit tastes exactly the same cook, the same flavor, right? And then a little bit of bacon in here. So we use some nice applewood smoke, and that's the fat. That's the bacon fat. We separate it
Oh,
out,
I see. Oh, I see.
render it so it's like
I
nice
see.
and clean.
Nice thing.
And then I'll have a little bit of black pepper, Sandra Wood. Normally she makes these far better than I do now. You know? Usually when I'm in the kitchen, I'm more of a nuisance these days, but you know, I get all the glory. So, black pepper in the pan
Right.
with the bacon fat, so it toasts and
Okay.
starts. You really get like pepper
Gives
perfume,
you a
right?
nice smell to
Again,
it.
not really sure if that's the way you're supposed to do it, but it's
that's
what
what
we
you
do,
do.
right? And then a big faux pas against carbonara shouldn't have cream. Well, mine has cream, right? So just a little bit of cream. That adds the body. It adds a really nice kind of like luster, which I love. This is some fresh pasta that we have made for us here locally. It's
Nice.
wonderful. I don't have the biggest kitchen in the world, you know.
Right.
We're like our pantry cook works right next to our dishwasher, works
Right.
right next to our refrigerator. We don't really have the space to make pasta, so we get some incredible pasta made for us.
So how many years is the Eating House there now?
8 years.
Wow.
We actually have an 8-year anniversary menu going on right now,
Oh,
where we did
cool.
like
Oh,
a bunch of
cool.
throwbacks to 2012. So
Oh,
dishes that we did when we
nice.
first opened, when the menu was a little bit more fun. You have to imagine, when we first opened, we had no prep time. We would get there at 4 o'clock. We would go to the grocery store every single day and buy what we could for the day. So we use a lot of stuff like we would use Dr. Pepper and reduce it and smoke it, and that was our sauce. Or like instead of creating a crumble, we would crumble up Fritos. So like the corn dish that we're doing right now has crumbled Fritos on top.
I love anything with crumbled.
Right, for sure, right? Like, I mean, that's a no-brainer. Grana Padano, wonderful cheese, I love.
Right.
Again, you can use Parmesan cheese if you like, Parmigiano Reggiano. This is basically the same thing, just made outside of Parma.
Right.
Right. And then another thing I always wanted to do was create a restaurant that was delicious and still like affordable, right? So if I were to use like some crazy Grana that was like super intense, we would have to charge a lot more for this dish. But we wanted to make something that anybody who comes to the restaurant, have a good meal, enjoy yourself, casual, and just, you know, enjoy, right?
And I said it when I introduced George and Sandra as well, but the reviews are extraordinary. And they're right there on Ponce de Leon Boulevard in Coral Gables. EatingHouseMiami.com is where you can find them online. So go ahead and try
It's like
that.
north of Miracle Mile, a few blocks,
That's
right?
right. They
It's
call it
just-
like Northern Ponce. It's kind of like a nice little fancy term they go.
Right.
But like, it really kind of depends on who I'm talking to. Some people say I'm in the Gables, the other people I just say I'm on Calle Ocho.
Right,
pretty awesome.
right.
We kind of get that luxury, right? So again, now we're gonna add some of that like pasta water to it, which we want to have some of that liquid in there.
And that gives it some creaminess too, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it kind of helps with binding it. There's like, obviously there's flour, right, and starch in pasta. So as you add some of that to it, it kind of like helps the sauce kind of like thicken it. All right, so then now we go a little bit more traditional with the carbonara, which is the egg, right? We use a little bit of egg yolk, and we add some chopped up black truffles to it.
You make it look so darn easy.
It honestly is this simple. I swear, it's like, I'm not really doing anything different. This is like, you can do this at home. It's like the easiest thing in the
Right.
world.
So winter truffles that you put in the
Yeah,
black
a little bit of
truffles.
chopped up blacks.
Right.
If we're in the heart of October, man, get some white and just shake it
Exactly
all
right.
over it, right?
Yeah.
So this is pretty much it. Like, I mean, we've got like 95% of our dish done.
And that's great. And this again is the
We'll move that outside. Yeah, thank you.
Is Eating House
Yeah,
and
Eating
their,
House.
their carbonara.
Yeah, so we
3
actually,
minutes.
at Glass of Vine,
Right.
the other restaurant, we just did a croquette that had this like similar flavor profile
Right.
for a swine and wine, and we actually won People's Choice.
Oh,
The other day. It was
nice.
great. Yeah, so she's gonna shave some cheese on top of that for you.
But
And then the secret touch, we talk about Fritos and crunchy stuff. I
Right.
like putting chips in my sandwich.
Right.
So we put some toasted breadcrumbs right on top of the pot.
Nice.
well, that is
Again,
beautiful.
not traditional whatsoever, right? Like,
No, but
so-
we'll eat this every
yeah,
day
a
of the
little
week.
carbonara pairs beautifully with this this great Pinot.
It's a wonderful Pinot
Yeah, it's
Grigio.
orange.
It's orange.
Right.
Right, so it's skin contact, right? We basically treat a white wine as if it were a red.
Right.
A little bit more funk, a little bit more flavor.
Becoming more and more popular these
Yeah.
days too. People are asking. In fact, Wine List sometimes has a whole orange wine
I
section.
love it. I love it. There's a really cool like natural wine movement happening right now.
Oh, Georgia, this is so good.
You like it?
Very much.
I mean, you know, we just talked about Italy. You know Italy, so if you dig it, then
Oh.
I'm happy with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
Georgia, that's
Delicious
delicious.
I know.
We're gonna do a really simple little dessert here too. This is a dirt cup, right? I grew up,
The dirt cup.
at another local Miami favorite, right? That many people don't know, Tony Roma's.
Yeah.
Right? I love Tony Roma's.
Oh, yeah.
I love the Tony Roma's dirt cup, so I wanted to make an ode to Tony Roma's when we opened up Eating House.
Vanilla ice cream,
A little vanilla ice cream.
right?
Then we make a salted caramel,
Mhm.
right? And then a little bit more salt comes in from some pretzel. And then we take a little bit of Nutella and Tierra Nueva chocolate together, and we make a mousse out of it, right? We use a little bit of modern kind
Oh,
of like
geez.
plating, like
Oh,
a little bit of
wow.
technique. I mean, you could do this in a KitchenAid too, but this allows us to make a whole bunch really quickly. And then like I don't try to be too fancy, right? Some good crumbled Oreos on top,
Oh boy,
right?
look at that thing.
Kind of crush it up, and it looks like a little planter full of dirt.
It looks wonderful.
And that's it. You can put a little
Look at
leaf, a
this
little
thing.
flower
I
if
mean,
you want to
really,
garnish it more.
It's
a
the
little dirt
Eating
cup.
House, and this pasta dish is one of the best we've had
Yeah.
in this studio.
Oh.
It's that simple.
Oh.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
no
Oh,
magic behind
I
this.
gotta- I-
You got to try this
All the way
because
down, there you go.
Get
All
the
the way
dirt
down.
cup all the way down. Again, you can find them right there on Ponce de Leon Boulevard, 804 Ponce de Leon. Online, eatinghousemmiami.com, and they're open for lunch and dinner every day but Monday. So go ahead and try. Brunch is on the
You're
weekend.
probably
so-
gonna be crunching. you
Yes, yeah. Monday's a day off. We get a little family day on Monday. You know, that's our weekend. So awesome.
Georgia, thank you, Miss
Hey,
Sandra,
so
as well.
much.
Thank you so
We'll
much.
get back. We're going to do
Sandra,
another
thank
segment
you.
with them in
Thank
just a
you.
minute. Right after this on Eat This, Drink That, Go,
Go.
presented by the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, and presented live by History Miami Museum.